So let's take a look at Life is Strange episodes 1 and 2.
Life is just strange, man.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
It definitely is with this game because they have some supernatural stuff, but I'll get to that.
Oh, wow, it is strange.
So to back up a little bit, I checked this game out at PAX. It was on my radar actually before, but actually the second episode hadn't come out yet by the time we checked it out at PAX, and that's what they were telling us. They said, yeah, the first episode is out. You can grab the first episode for $5, and the second episode's coming out really soon. So I think the second episode's been out for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks at this point. So I just went through episodes 1 and 2 at the same time.
They're relatively short though, right?
Yeah. Probably like between 4 and 6 hours. I'd say maybe a little bit. Maybe it depends. Like if you go through and like look at each thing and examine every single thing, because there's a lot of stuff you can do. If you're going through it again and you know where to go, I mean you can go through it really super fast.
Yeah, that's all I have time for these days.
Yeah. Well, that was something I was actually gonna comment on in a minute here. But so the first episode's been out for a while. The second one just came out. The next one's coming out in May. So now we got another month before the next one comes out. The wait on that's gonna be a killer. But overall, before I get into the nitty gritty here, like this game kicks ass. This game is way better than I even expected. I just had like a passing interest in this game, saying, maybe I should check that out. But I'm glad I found some time to play this because this is definitely worth it. I want to say this game actually really exemplifies the episodic format, especially nowadays with limited attention spans. I don't always have time to just sit down and dump 70 hours into a ridiculous RPG or any of these games coming out now that just take forever.
I mean, sometimes, especially I think as a lot of gamers get older, it's people just we don't have the time that we used to. I mean, and the people that do have the time, children, an adult themed game, like they just don't, this isn't geared towards them. So I think it's specific to the audience it's geared to.
Yeah.
They just don't have time. What with school or work or, life, they need these games that they can bust out in like 4 hours. So.
Exactly. And that's definitely what's going on here. I appreciate that because, again, you get one episode, you can play that in an afternoon, or you can play a couple episodes. If we talk about the actual game itself, though, I'll describe this one as a modern-day point-and-click that leans heavily on its story. So just like some recent examples we've seen. Beyond Two Souls, the Telltale games, D4, Dark Deems Don't Die was another one.
Dark Deem,
That game was actually really good. This one is more similar to Wolf Among Us, though, so it tracks all your choices, and then like at the end it'll show it shows you the main choices and what you did, so it shows them in a list, and then it'll show you the minor ones. So if you miss stuff, it'll have you did this, or like if you missed it, it'll just say which one it defaulted to. So that's cool, and that encourages you to replay it if you want to do something different, or there might be something you missed that you didn't even know about, which you can do. So that's cool. Wolf Among Us did that too, and it'd have like a recap at the end, which is exactly what this does. It tells you, you did such and such, and then it'll actually sync up to the Square Enix servers for this game, and it'll compare to like what other people did, so you can see the percentage of, what decision people did, and, that's a cool feature. Just some more background on the game. Right at the beginning of the game, actually, the main character, Max, she discovers she has supernatural powers, and she has a vision of this giant tornado that's on its way to wipe out this town. So Max is actually a student at this, they're early age college kids, and she's studying to be a fine art photographer. So right at the beginning, she has this vision that this tornado is going to come wipe out the town in a couple of days. But then she also discovers that she has the ability to rewind time. So that's the main sort of mechanic in this game, is that you go through and you make choices, but then you can instantly rewind and do it over to see what the other choice, or sometimes there's multiple choices. You can just go back and see what the other ones are going to do, and then you can decide which one you want to live with. And other games have like Prince of Persia: Sand of Time comes to mind. That one you could rewind and like redo your mistake, but I don't think there's been a game that I've played, at least, where you can see all these individual outcomes and then say, okay, that's the one I want to go with, and then stick with that. So that's actually really cool.
That's like the show Misfits. There's a character on that show that has that ability. Like he can go back in time just using his mind or something. Yeah. And that's what he does in the show. Is like he just goes back in time over and over again until he gets the outcome that he wants,
Right.
So it sounds like maybe it was a pretty popular show, so maybe they got the inspiration from that.
Could be, yeah. It sounds really similar. Yeah, and then you can see from the footage, yeah, it's all point and click. There's not a whole lot of action going on. It's just you inspect objects, and there'll be the key items that you have to use to progress the story. But I really liked it a lot so far. Actually, the tone is really, really adult. There's tons of profanity in the game and tons of substance abuse, and actually probably more substance abuse than I particularly care for. But
you know who else enjoys substance abuse?
Yeah,
they're all in jail now.
So to wrap up, yeah, since we're only on the second episode here, yeah, I'll just say if you're a fan of these types of games, the point and click, heavily based on story, then you definitely should do yourself a favor and check this one out. It's good, definitely going to be right up your alley.
Nice.
And again, it's only episode 2, so they're just getting started.
Yeah,
I recommend this 100%.